Have you ever wondered why you keep meeting the same person in different bodies? Today, beautiful friends, we're going to be diving into the shadows of patterns of love. We're going to be exploring emotional vulnerability and emotional unavailability. We're going to be diving into what in you answers the call to attract people like that. Let's dive into the cosmic logic and see the energy behind this pattern with the dice. So what came out is Sagittarius, the moon, and 10th house. It's interesting because the moon and 10th house are connected in whole sign astrology, as the moon is ruled by Cancer in astrology, and in whole signs in a birth chart, it's in the 4th house, which is opposite of Capricorn in the 10th house. They're polar opposites. In astrology, the moon represents the mom and the 10th house represents the dad. So I feel that this has a lot to do with your childhood traumas and why you keep attracting people like that. Because everything's about energy. Patterns that you keep repeating, which is if you keep attracting the same type of person, like let's say you keep getting ghosted or you keep attracting people that don't want to commit but they seem like they do, and it feels like you're just ignoring the red flags. You can't see them at first, and then after they leave, it's like, oh yeah, I should have seen this and that. Like it all becomes clear to you. And it's not that you're ignoring the red flags, it's more of getting used to of a pattern that you've had since you were little. And today we're going to be exploring how those patterns are showing up in your patterns of relationships. This can also come out with the type of work that you attract, the type of jobs. It could feel sometimes that you can't get a good paying job. It could feel that every job you had like very toxic coworkers that are against you. These are patterns, and these patterns have been with you for a while. This video is going to be for cardinal signs. So if you have Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn in your chart, this reading is going to be for you. Some of these things might resonate, some of them might not. Just take what does. Now let's open the chapters of your past. What's interesting is that cardinal signs are here with the Cancer ruling the moon in astrology and 10th house being ruled by Capricorn. These are both cardinal signs. So there's a lot of cardinal energy that's showing up here. And a lot of these patterns from your childhood could have made you, in a way, look for people that spend quality time with you. This is something that can make you feel seen because you were young. When you were younger, you might have had to prove to be seen. You might have to have given a reason to be seen, reason to be heard, reason to be taken seriously. And this is a pattern. It's not like, oh, this happened to me sometimes, like once or twice. No, this is a pattern that you had since you were younger. And the thing about patterns is that they could be broken, but we need to understand where they came from, where they led you in order to break that type of cycle. This is something that's going to take time because it's exploring the parts of you that are sort of like hurt, and that's the energy that you're using the most to attract. Now it's interesting to explore why you're using that the most energy to attract. This could be with your thoughts. Let's say that you get in an argument with someone or somebody cuts you off in traffic, and that's what you're thinking for like the next 2 to 3 hours. You keep replaying of what you could have said differently, what you could have done differently, and it just keeps you in a loop. Now, what that does to your body, because your body does not know, you're not in that moment anymore. Your brain doesn't know that. So it's triggering your brain of still having that flight or mode mentality of like, I need to attack or I need to run away. And so after you have those type of arguments, those type of disagreements with people, we don't know how to bring ourselves back to feeling calm, to feeling peace. And so you carry that moment into the next moment. And a lot of the times, this isn't your fault, but a lot of the times that attitude carries into the next conversation you're having, and that person might feel attacked. And so they respond with them needing to defend themselves. And that type of response is also something that could be explained with the patterns that you've had. So you might be that type of person as well. When you feel that you are being attacked, you feel the need to defend. And a lot of the times, it's not that you're being attacked, it's that your body is reacting like you are, because your body does not feel safe. So, a very important thing for you to do is to bring your body down into peace to make it feel safe. And that's something that I'll provide some exercises later in the reading. So, what came out is this Sea at the bottom of the deck. And so, I feel that you've been lied to a lot, especially you've been like misled emotionally. And I feel that a lot of this has to do with your perspective. And I'm not saying that like, oh, you're too hard on them, so change your perspective to look at them like in a nicer way. No, I mean your perspective as in you seek patterns to make you feel safe. If you have not healed those patterns from your childhood, the ones where you always had to prove yourself, the ones where you weren't heard, where you weren't put first, where your safety was like questionable, and any type of that, like where you grew up with fear, where you grew up with shame, then if that's a pattern that you've had that you have not healed, that becomes a pattern of what you start looking for in others. And we do this without us knowing that we're doing this. So I'm not trying to say that you sought this out. I'm not trying to say that you deserve this because of your patterns. No, I'm trying to make you aware of how it's still showing up now, so you could make the decision, if you wanted to, of changing it. And it's your perspective towards that, of what makes you feel safe in a relationship. Sometimes we don't feel safe if people aren't jealous of who we're talking to, or if they're not jealous that we're hanging out with someone. Sometimes that's a red flag. Why isn't he jealous? Why isn't he not questioning me? Why aren't we having a fight over this? A lot of the times when we have that type of pattern, we create that pattern in real life. What that could look like is starting arguments over little things that don't really matter, because you need to have a fight because you haven't fought in a while, so your body does not feel safe, and it's trying to go back to the patterns of the past. So try to see if that's how you show up sometimes. And please keep in mind, like I said, this isn't to use as ammunition against yourself. This is data for yourself, so that if you wanted to, you could change. What also came out is the High Priestess of Fire. So everything I talked about is affecting your passion. So it's affecting how you're showing up for yourself. And this could look like as you not having the energy like for your own projects, for your own job, because you're wasting your energy in this perspective. And an example of this could be where, let's say that you have to be in class or you have to be at work by like 12 p.m. But you're at your house checking how many followers he has, because you think that some girl just started following him that she texted him last week, and so now you feel that they're talking and they're dating behind your back. So you spent 2 hours investigating on who she is, trying to see if he is even following her, and now you're late to either school or work, and those 2 hours could have been spent on you either like doing your homework, you doing your nails, or you doing something more productive for yourself, you focusing on your passions. A lot of this could be because you don't have a hobby to come to. You don't have like for example, something to distract your mind to make you feel safe. And that's a huge thing that's going to be with you cardinal signs this year, with almost everyone this year, is how to make your body feel safe. And that's very important because the planets, the way that they are aligning, it's creating a lot of friction. It's creating a lot of people getting triggered very easily. And a lot of that has to do with us not realigning our nervous system, or like resetting our nervous system to again make ourselves feel safe. You were probably provided an inconsistent, a chaotic, or probably like, even if you lived like in an environment, like you had a good upbringing, but your environment was like in the projects or in the ghetto, and all you heard were like gunshots and like the sirens of the paramedics or sirens of the cops all of the time. That's something that your nervous system gets used to. So it doesn't know how to feel safe because it hasn't had the opportunity to actually relax. And so when you start dating someone new, or you start dating someone that is safe, that could feel like a red flag. And it could feel like you need to go look for what they're doing wrong. You need to bring it out because you know that there is something there, when a lot of the times there isn't. It's just you not feeling safe. And yes, horrible things happen in relationships. People cheat, people do, like, they betray you, they are inconsistent. And a lot of the times that could come from how you're showing up with yourself. I know that this might be tough to hear. It was tough for me to hear when I first heard this. But a lot of the times when your love language is quality time, when you don't require much, like you say that you're low maintenance chick, you don't really require much. And I'm not saying that you require much as in like financial assistance, or you want them to pay for everything, or you want them to like buy you all the shoes and like clothes and to take you on a shopping spree and stuff. Like, no, not that type of require. I'm talking about showing up consistently, being emotionally available to speak to you when they are upset, and to try to see if it's their fault, and to take accountability if it's them showing up that way, and to give you space if it's you to take accountability. And I lost my train of thought, but when you have low maintenance and you don't require much, it means that your love language doesn't expect or require much from other people. That can be trauma from not being heard or seen as a child. So instead of requiring people to show up with acts of service, yours is quality time. Yours is like, let's just watch TV together, or let's just be together where we're both on our phones, just for them to be with you. A lot of the time, you're content with that, and that's enough. And that's because you don't require much from yourself. A lot of the times when we don't require much from others or from ourselves, it's a trauma response. And I don't mean that you don't require much from someone because you have everything put together. You could provide everything for yourself. Like I said, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about emotional. Like showing up to be emotional available, to provide space. People cannot show up for you and provide a safe space for you. A lot of the times it's because they were never taught how to provide a safe space for themselves. So you see how the pattern is sort of showing up again. A lot of the times your patterns are similar to their patterns, which makes you feel like you understand them, but they're not willing to start changing their patterns, which means that they're going to show up for you in the way that they have with their patterns. Pay attention to what people do consistently, because that's how they're going to show up for you consistently. If they're consistently late for work, if they are consistently lying to their boss, that's something that they're going to consistently be doing with other people. Consistency is like a universal, like magical thing that if you start doing a lot, the universe really does like give it back to you. But a lot of the times when we do things consistently, we're offering those gifts to other people that aren't doing things for us consistently. So it's not like I'm not trying to say that if you do something for someone, someone else should do something for you, but more like, how are they showing up with space for you to feel safe? Do they have that? Do you have that within yourself? And with High Priestess and Deceit being here, there is no safe space that you have created for yourself. It's always go, 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 go. And I feel that some of you hide behind the success that you've had. You hide behind the money that you have. Oh, I don't need a man because I can provide for myself. I don't need a man because I have my friends that are emotionally there. And that's completely fine. But are you providing that for yourself without an external source? Can you show up for yourself with a safe space for you to feel safe in the moment and not react to how you have in the past? If someone is offending you, do you have the safe space for yourself to not show up how you have in the past? If something goes wrong, do you have the safe space for yourself to say that it's going to be okay and you will get over this? A lot of the times we expect other people to have that safe space for us, or we are taught that we seek that outside. We don't seek that internally from within ourselves. And by taught, I mean your parents didn't teach you how to do that for yourself. So what you saw was them seeking external validation from other people. So that's how you thought, okay, that's what I need to feel better. I need people to agree with me for me to feel better. And a lot of the times when you're looking for like outside validation, you're inviting people to sit at your table, give you their opinion, and you eat it. And what that means is, and then like you go into a negative thought of like, I could have done this differently, they're right. Or I really did mess up, they're right. I should have done that, I should have done that, I should have done what they told me to do. And a lot of the times those opinions aren't meant to help you grow. A lot of the times those opinions are from an outside source that has not gone through what you've gone through, so they don't really understand the scenario. And this could be towards relationship. You could be getting opinions of what's going on in your relationship from somebody that's been divorced more than twice. Somebody that seeks more pleasure than to actually form a family. That's who some of you are getting advice from. And so I feel that that's why deceit is here, which is about your perspective and how you're looking at the world. A lot of the times you're basing your past on what's going to happen in the future. It's not okay for you to go look for evidence to see if it's true, if they really are doing that. You need to learn how to trust the universe and yourself, because all of this like high alertness that you have is messing with your intuition, so it's not letting you listen to yourself. Really listen to what you need, listen to what you are. You're seeking proof that they're not going to hurt you like this instead of believing that you're safe. A lot of the times we look at love as a limited source. Like, if this person doesn't love me, I won't find somebody else to love me, or I won't find somebody else to love me the same way. And that's setting a limit to what love is, and that translates to breadcrumbs. So ask yourself, why are tiny little breadcrumbs enough for you? Is that what you were given as a child? Is that the pattern that you've had? And if it is, and you discover that it is, please don't use that as ammunition against yourself or against your parents or guardians or whoever brought you up. Like I said at the beginning, this is data for yourself so that you could bring in change to change this pattern. There's a lot of good luck that is coming towards Cardinal sign. And in order for you to see that good luck, you need to change your perspective. Because a lot of the times, let's say you're out of a job and you're looking for a job, and there's a part-time job that's hiring, or like even a full-time job, but they're paying minimum wage. But you're like, no, I deserve to get paid $30 an hour, $40 an hour. But you have no experience in that field, or you have no work experience. And yes, you do deserve that, but that's something that you have to work for. A lot of the times we do something similar in relationships where I want to be treated like a wife, or I want to be treated like a husband. I expect this amount of money, or I expect this amount of food to be cooked. I want my place cleaned. I want my gas tank filled. Like you have all of these requirements, but yet you're showing up inconsistently. But yet you're talking to like 4 or 5 different people, and you won't commit to something. Or this is something that they expect from you, and this is what they're doing to you. They have people on the side, but yet they still want you to treat them like they're your husband or your wife, or they're like the person that you're supposed to be serving. Examine where you're showing up like that for yourself in your life. Examine the requirements that you have in relationships. Is visibility being confused with vulnerability? Not everybody that could see you, visibility, should have like information about you, or should know like vulnerable things about you that could be used against you. That's something that should be earned. That's something that you should keep sacred within yourself. Being an open book, it's not always a good thing, because you're giving them the playbook of how to hurt you a lot of the time. A lot of the times you're trusting them with sensitive information, hoping that they won't use it against you, but yet they've already showed you in the past that they've used it against somebody else, or they used it against you. You know that this is how they're like, but you're hoping that they won't treat you the same. You're hoping that you're going to be different and they're not going to treat you the same, and so they're going to change. That's the savior complex. You're trying to save the version of them that you have created in your head. A lot of the times this comes from wanting someone to have saved you from your own childhood. What do you feel that you needed to be saved from your childhood for? Is that something that adult you is providing to childhood you now? A lot of the times our patterns from childhood is what makes us safe. And we need those patterns as adults to feel like we're safe. So examine those patterns. Are they really making you feel safe, or are they triggering you? Do they make you feel like you need to respond? With this energy, it's about responding to your thoughts. And with this energy, it's about not engaging with your thoughts, which might be hard, because sometimes you have a negative thought and you feel like you start interacting with it. And so it's like a battle you're fighting with your brain. And that's very exhausting to do. That drains you a lot of the times, and it doesn't let you show up with your passion for yourself. Please let me know how this reading resonated with you in the comments.